Two military friends go camping in a state park and wake up miles away, dehydrated, disoriented, sunburned, and with hours of missing time. Decades later, an x-ray revealed something shocking. A tiny piece of metal buried deep in his leg. That's when a strange memory became a terrifying mystery. Today, we're diving into the Devil's Den alien encounter. It's one of the most chilling abduction cases ever told. Will you believe? Let's get into it. Welcome to another episode of Mostly True Alien Stories.
UFO sightings. Many Americans have wondered about the dangers of unknown objects.
Scientists in Mexico pulling back the curtain a little bit. We need to save ourselves.
All right, welcome back to Mostly True Alien Stories, the show where we share a true report of an alien encounter in history, and then we decide whether it's mostly true or not. I'm Neal Girandola, and with me is my co-host and fellow alien armchair investigator, Andrew Triana. Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Neal. Good morning.
I just want to remind everyone, like we do every episode, I will lay out the report as it is written. Then Andrew is going to fill in the details. And the two of us are going to weigh in on whether we think this really happened or if there was something else going on. Isn't that right, Andrew?
That's right, Neal.
I want to remind our listeners to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Follow us also on TikTok as well as on YouTube. So go ahead and follow us there. Andrew, before we get into our story today, there's been a lot of things that happened over the weekend that I wanted to. I know. You know what though? I definitely, because we talked about it last week. It's the meteorite, the alien. Meteorite alien that landed in the yard. There's an update to this now. I'm like obsessed with this dude. I don't even know what he's saying. It turns out, I guess he's in, I don't know, Panama, or I don't know, Guadalupe or wherever.
Peru. I think he's in Peru.
Yes, he's in Peru. That's it.
Peru. See.
The alien has grown. For those of you, if you haven't heard this story, this guy, the meteorite landed in his backyard, and there was a fire in his backyard, and from in where the meteorite landed, it was a rock, and they took this little rock, and
it's like this big.
Yeah, like that big, and now it's grown into this huge alien, and he had it in a plate covered with like a cake plate cover, and then it got too big. And then he moved it to a safe. He had a safe in his room. So he put it in his little black safe. And then it got too big. So he actually, the next video I saw, he's dragging in one of those floor freezers. No, those floor, those box freezers, those big box freezers you put meat in.
Like, why would you put it?
He's going to put it in there because he can control it. I don't know, just to keep it like contained. And because it's grown into this big black sort of stringy sort of, thing. And every time he shows a video of it, it's like, looks like it's breathing, it's all of those things. And it was funny too, because some of the videos, like it went from very clear videos to then all of a sudden they're like, he went back to the 70s to some old camera. I don't know what he was using, but you can barely see what he's showing you.
Yeah, he brought out the old, was it the 20 millimeter film or whatever it was?
Yeah, it was just weird.
5 millimeters.
It got darker and darker. But now apparently it's gotten too big for him to handle.
He's gonna have to give it to the zoo, probably.
No. He has decided to set it free. So he took
that's
it
good.
Out. Yeah, he took it back into these backwoods.
That's what you do. That's what
lake.
You do.
Yeah, it's like backwoods canal lake area. Like has dilapidated huts or barn. I couldn't make it out, but it was it's in this swampy, watery area, and he's gonna let it go. And he doesn't show you him putting it in the water, but the next shot is it's in the water, and then it was just sort of floating and sort of sad. It was sort of sad and dramatic, and it was just
the alien was sad
there. Man, I don't know if the alien. I couldn't tell if he was trying to say it's dead, I drowned it, or if it's because listen, he did a terrific job with this. It was really crude shot, every video he made, and the stories he's telling, the way the shaky camera, and now to letting it go. I mean, people are commenting. He's getting thousands and thousands and thousands of views on these.
Wild, yeah.
But he puts it up, and people are commenting and like, like they felt bad for the alien because the alien, they let him go into the lake.
Think about it. He's been his friend this whole time, right? For the last 2 weeks, and the only person that he could trust. I was waiting to hear like music with this, right?
It really is
like Audrey, right?
Yeah.
But it would be in Spanish.
What would that sound like?
Dame de comer. Dame de come, Felipe. Instead of feed me Seymour, feed
I
me.
got you. I got you.
Dame de come, todo noches. Ah.
I'll make sure there's English subtitles under that when we put this out.
Dame de comer. Dame de comer todas las noches.
You really should write this. You should collaborate with him. Really, if this was real, if this was really truly an alien kind of thing, he did a great job with it. It grew, put it in the water. It would really, next step would be now it populates in the, no, just now it's going to populate in the swamp. And then we're going to have these swamp aliens that are going to come and now attack us, which is, I'm hoping he goes there with that. Or the next video is there's a knock on his door and he opens it and the alien's there. What'd you put me in the water for?
Just fades it black. Yeah. There's that whole folklore or whatever of the face peelers in Peru, the alien face peelers that are reptilians.
Oh wait, is that thing where there was people they were terrorizing towns because they wanted people to move out. So it was actually a group that was doing this. They were putting on masks. They were coming in and scaring people.
Yeah.
Right.
But maybe it's real now.
Of all these fake alien stories out there, though, this one's one of my favorites. Also, another big news over the weekend, your boy Nacho Rojo from the Buga Sphere. We're talking about the Buga Sphere right now.
Nacho Libre? Nacho
Rojo, who was the guy who was part of the big Buga Sphere conference. He was the one who was brought in to prove that you could not do it with a drone. Yeah, he's that guy. Right. Anyway, he has a podcast. I think it's called the Verdata Culta or something like that. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he apparently got a very, very early or late morning call, early morning, in the wee hours, he says.
From who? Jaime Maussan?
From Jaime Maussan and Stephen Greer to tell him that they carbon tested. They got the results back from the carbon testing of the Buga Sphere, and it is dating back.
Salad bowl to 1987.
No, better.
65?
Nope. 12,560 years old. That's Ice Age era, and it's that's like before the Great Pyramids.
Dude, that's the oldest salad bowl ever.
It really, really is. But, they did this carbon dating on it, and you can't carbon date metal. So they had to pull, they're saying that the black resin on there is what they tested, which was caught in the seams of the sphere, because it only works on biogenic material. So that means it had to be from tree sap or something that's within the sphere. And so, that's what they said they tested. They even mentioned foraminifera, which I didn't know what this was. I had to look it up.
Foraminifera.
Yeah, it's microscopic sea creatures. They said that involved. And then I don't know if I lost it in translation.
Are those the ones flying it?
Yes. Seahorses.
They're sea monkeys, I bet. Because those are prehistoric.
And they fly.
And they built a ship, I heard.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think what they're trying to do, they're setting the stage to say
they've been here forever.
Well, not only that, but if that's only the foraminifera would be from the ocean. So they're trying to say that this thing also can go in water, and it came out from there, and it's been 12, and it's alien tech from that long ago, and this is what I think they're trying to set us up for that. And also by saying they did this test, the carbon testing.
Okay.
That's like the grand finale of testing, right? Of anything ancient. This is the things that I think if you want to,
they always want to carbon date.
Yeah. So how do you argue now? I mean, it hasn't been peer reviewed. No one's really seen no other group. The University of Georgia is the one that did the test, but that I don't know.
Have they come forward to say that they did? Or is this just Jaime Maussan saying, we sent it to Georgia?
Yeah, that's right. But I don't know. They had that. There's seen these reports surfacing. I've seen the copy of the document of saying what it is and how old it is. But you don't know where that came from. You don't know how that was made or what that came from. But listen. My point of this is now they're back in the limelight with this.
Right.
This is the oldest. This is the first piece of alien tech that's been dated back 12,500 years during the Ice Age. During the before pyramids, before all of life.
So these were pre aliens.
I mean, they're going big. They're swinging for the fucking fence here on this one.
Did you hear today what they said? The transcription They translate it.
Today?
Today. It just came out. That's why I was so excited that you were going to tell these, because I have it. I have
What
the
is it?
translation. It
What is
says,
it?
"Who made the salad? Who made the salad? Me and 7 C's."
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some
Yeah.
serious branding from 7
What?
C's.
Dude, it was the first marketing campaign
Brilliant.
for salad dressing, because it was a huge salad bowl that they put together.
Yeah, you know what?
Inside is lettuce, I think.
I think you're onto something. For marketing and branding, these companies should be making alien tech and just like put it out there.
Spears and just
Oh,
fly
look
it
what we
around.
found.
Yeah, look, we've been around forever. Don't tell me, Pepsi.
McDonald's. That's the way to go. I don't know. I'm still skeptic of this, but I think that's what they're setting us up for. It is alien tech during the ice age. They couldn't test the metal and they couldn't test the tech.
Why?
So they got a little resin something within the grooves of the sphere, and that's what they tested. Then that's what went back to 12,500 years, just to be clear. But it really is a bold thing to do. All right, let's get into today's story. Are you ready for that?
I am ready.
It's one of those camping trips gone terrifyingly wrong kind of stories. It's got it. Speaking of x-rays, it's got x-rays in this story. It's got memory blocks, military silence, and a triangle-shaped craft the size of a football field. We get that one a lot.
Huge, dude.
It was 1977. It takes place in Devil's Den State Park in Arkansas. It was supposed to be a weekend escape. Terry Lovelace and his friend Toby were both serving in the U.S. Air Force at the time, and they were stationed at Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. Now, they shared a love for the outdoors, and they liked photography, and a mutual desire to get off base, away from the noise of military life, and into some remote wilderness. So in June of 77, they packed up a beat-up old car, apparently. They loaded in cameras and gear, snacks, and they headed to Devil's Den State Park, which is a heavily forested, rocky stretch of northwest Arkansas. They didn't camp at the designated site, apparently.
No, they went to another
according to this report. That's right. Instead, they hiked deep into the restricted area. It was restricted. It was isolated ridge with a panoramic view, and it was chosen specifically because it was far away from anyone else, and that was intentional. They wanted silence, solitude, and they ended up getting more than that. According to this. Yes. This is like Brokeback Alien. It's the beginning of Brokeback Alien. I ain't quitting you. You ain't implanting me. All right. On the first night of their camping trip was sort of uneventful, a regular night of camping. The second night, though, not so much, because as the sun began to set, the two men noticed strange lights on the horizon. And there were 3 bright stars in a triangle formation, and they were hovering silently in the dusky sky. But as the light faded, the triangle got bigger, and then it descended. And according to Lovelace, the object was massive. It was a city block wide, he later said, and completely silent. And it floated above the treetops. Then it hovered right over their campsite. And that's when it all changed. Both men reported feeling a wave of paralysis, not pain, not fear, as reported, but a kind of forced stillness, like being sedated while fully awake. The forest around them went dead silent. There were no bugs, no birds, no wind. We've heard this before.
Yeah, we always hear that, right? No robot with a jaw and opening in fog and none of that. Just
even a couple episodes ago, we were talking about the Penturch incident where in Wales, where the same triangle thing, and it was caused paralysis.
Yep.
All of that. So then came the light, a blue beam that shined down from the center of the triangle and engulfed their entire tent. And after that, there was nothing. It was just blackness, and that was it. And the next thing you know, they both wake up hours later, and they're lying inside the tent, but everything felt sort of wrong. Their watches had stopped.
Their butt hurts.
Their campfire was cold. It burned down to the embers, and both men were sunburned badly, as if they had been lying under a UV light for hours. Toby, the other guy, seemed shaken. He didn't want to talk about anything, and Terry felt physically ill. And then they noticed something strange. Both men had puncture marks on their bodies. geometric in shape. They were patterned. They're like they had been part of some sort of medical experiment, perhaps. But the next morning, without a word, they packed up. They drove back in silence. This peaceful retreat had turned into sort of this trauma that neither of them could really explain.
Right.
All right. So now they returned to the base. Terry went to the ER and he had x-rays taken of his injuries. But that's about it. That's where it came, that's where it ended. And, but it actually, the whole mystery of the story got a little deeper because now we go to 2012. So from
40 years later. Yeah. Basically 40 years later.
Yeah. Terry Lovelace was having his leg x-rayed for a completely unrelated reason. And the technician asked him if he had ever had metallic implants in his leg because the technician had seen something that was odd. Terry said he had not. And the doctor then showed him the scan and revealed a small metallic object which was embedded in his thigh, and it was surrounded by nerve endings, as if the body had accepted the object and like it had belonged there for, whatever reason. So then the further scans, they showed no scarring, there was no incision site, and Terry had no explanation for it, and neither did the doctors. So that discovery sent Terry into a spiral of recovered memories, he says. He had night terrors and ultimately disclosure, I guess. He began talking about what happened at Devil's Den, including in his 2018 book. He wrote a book called The Incident at Devil's Den. And then he claimed he and Toby had been abducted by the occupants of that triangular craft. And he recalled being taken aboard and examined and being surrounded by strange beings. They were tall, thin figures who never spoke, but he said they moved with intention and precision. And then he also remembered something else. There were children present, or at least what looked like human children to him. They were lined up in these observation rooms. And he said it felt like almost like a hybrid program or some kind of biological experiment involving human DNA. Boy, a lot going on in there. So now, after the incident, both men experienced decades of these psychological issues, apparently. Terry developed a deep fear of the night sky. Toby's life reportedly completely fell apart. He has substance abuse issues, he had job instability, and eventually just total estrangement. I think he and Terry kind of just didn't talk anymore. But Terry, meanwhile, he stayed quiet for decades. He was a practicing attorney. He's married with kids. He's never spoke about what happened until the implant discovery happened in 2012. And that's, of course, when the floodgates all opened. And then since going public, Terry has spoken at UFO conferences. He appeared on numerous podcasts. He worked with researchers studying non-human implants and memory suppression and experienced her trauma, which is pretty good. He's trying to make something of it. But he does believe that they were conducting long-term biological monitoring on him, and that's why he may have had this implant in him since 77. All right. So no physical evidence was ever recovered from the campsite. It should be mentioned. The implant, according to some researchers, emitted electromagnetic signals when tested. I don't know what happened to the implant. I didn't find anything about it. But Terry believes he and Toby were chosen not randomly, but because they were isolated, military connected, and psychologically suited to be test subjects. So that's interesting thought on that. That's all I have on this. And Andrew, I know you've been digging into this one. So from Terry's time in the military to the implant to some of the deeper theories around memory suppression and trauma, I'm going to hand it over to you and you can help us piece this one together. And do you think this is a mostly true alien story? Over to you, Andrew.
Let's dig in. So you mentioned the first night, nothing really happened, right? Second night, around 9 p.m., they were drinking some beer. And Toby told Terry, shh, listen, it's quiet, right?
They were definitely drinking beer.
Definitely drinking beer.
Like that was mentioned.
That was mentioned. That's what I found, that they were drinking
beer. You
beer.
really dive deep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were drinking Pabst Blue Ribbon.
It's carbon dated to 12,500 years ago. Drink Pabst Blue Ribbon. It's the oldest beer around.
Today's show is also sponsored by Pabst Blue Ribbon, the beer of champions and aliens.
Aliens.
Okay, so they said that everything went quiet, right? And the ship came out of like nowhere. And it said it moved extremely fast, flew across the sky, flew back, and then it kind of started approaching them, right?
You said it flew past them and then came
Flew
back?
past
Okay.
them,
All right.
came back, and then a bright white light came over them, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And then it went dark,
Oh, it shut off. Okay.
shut
Okay.
off. Then this blue, what Terry described as a blue laser, started like scanning the area,
Oh my God.
right?
That's scary.
Then complete darkness again.
They were messing
They
with
were
them.
totally messing with them. They were like, "Hey, turn on the blue light now.
Yeah.
Turn
Shut
on.
it off. Shut it off real quick.
That's good. Okay, let's just sit here. Shh.
Turn it on.
No. Okay. So here's the funniest thing that I found in this story, right? After that, Toby said, "Show's over. We might as well go to bed." So they went into the tent.
Why would they didn't
And
go
went
and
to sleep.
investigate?
No.
That's weird.
So then while they were
Is
sleeping,
this Terry's account?
this is Terry's account.
He said that's what Toby said. That's just all
Toby
right.
said, it said
Show's over.
Toby said, "Show's over," and went back to their tent to go to sleep.
Okay.
Now, they said possibly the lights, the bright lights and the blue laser started acting as some sort of calming agent on them, calming
kinda
them down. So
made
they
you
weren't
tired.
panicked.
They
They weren't panicked, right? They weren't like, "Oh my God, what was that?"
But
They were
they're
just
also
like, "Oh,
military. They're also military, so they may have
right,
been
right."
overly sensitive to that.
So
Maybe. I don't.
the next thing that happens is they went to sleep, but Terry said he wasn't asleep for very long. And when he woke up, he wasn't in the tent.
Terry wasn't.
Terry wasn't in the tent. He woke up lying naked on a rubber floor. His clothes were stacked on top of him, right? Beside him, he couldn't move. He said there was a smell of chemicals and his throat burned. He started to panic. Then he heard a woman scream. His eyes started to focus, and the room was huge. He said it was like he was inside of a stadium. That's how big he described it, right?
Where was Toby?
He looked right and he saw other people. And then on the left, he saw spacecrafts. So he was like in this huge, imagine he's butt ass naked, laying on the floor on a rubber mat. And over here to his left is spaceships, and over to his right are a bunch of people.
Well, remember, he did describe the ship to be a city block.
Yeah, it's
The
huge.
size of it. So
Yeah.
there's all kinds of stuff going on
Yep.
in there. They got a mall. They got like probably a little, par 3 in
Right.
there that they could do a little putt. And,
Yeah, they got a driving range. I heard that's
They
like
got
Top
theater.
Golf inside.
Yeah,
It's like
they got
Topgolf.
theater. They got a little
Totally.
theater.
Yep. He saw the aliens doing the show.
Yeah. There's a bar.
They were dancing and stuff, right? Then he saw grays in flight suits
Okay.
moving quickly around. He said they were moving kind of like robots. And this is where it gets freaky. He saw humans in beige flight suits with orange ranked insignias as if they were part of the crews. And he was
Humans,
trying
though.
to get the humans' attention, and then they walked by him like they just didn't care.
You think maybe they were like
Brainwashed or
like
hybrids?
like humans? Like,
I don't know. He said they were humans.
hmm.
He said that they were humans. He said then a large
Pretty-
pink-skinned alien about 6 feet tall walked in and started staring at him.
just
And it
stared
began
at him.
reading his mind, pulling memories from him. He said he felt like he was like his soul was being sucked out of his body, right?
Mm.
He said a group of grays picked him up and they carried him down a hallway. And in the hallway, as he was walking down the hallway, he said there were large glass tanks like aquariums, some with creatures inside. Most of them were empty. He said, and then they brought him to a white room and they placed him on a table.
It was a white party?
He said, and then they took out this big vial of white powder and they put it down and they gave him a credit card and they said, snort all this coke or we're going to probe you. So he started snorting like, he was like, man, I can't do it anymore. His nose is bleeding. He's like, do it.
The
pink
aliens
one was
came to
like-
party.
The pink one was like, this guy parties, man.
Damn.
No. So
I
they
wait,
put him
I
on
want to back up to the pink guy, the 6 foot tall pink guy that was extracting memories. What purpose does that serve?
I think he's trying to read him how like freaked out he is.
Yeah, but for why? What are they going to accomplish with
I
that?
don't know. Maybe
What is
they're
it
going
that-
to, well,
Maybe they're testing them to use
maybe
them
he's-
for something.
possibly, maybe he's reading his thoughts so that if they make a bioengineered human of him, they'll have his essence or whatever that they can put into that. I don't know. It's kind of
Yeah.
weird though, right? He was
But there's-
pink.
Yeah, and I would just that's where I would go is like how do we explain why would an alien do that? What is it? What's the purpose unless it's just training, maybe just to see he's our soldier going forward and may not know it now, but in the future we're going
Right.
to need him.
Right.
I don't know. All right, so go ahead.
Possibly. He said, so the table felt warm
Mm.
that they put him on. He said, but it didn't feel warm like it was a heated table. He said it felt warm like there was somebody on the table
Already
prior to
been
him
there.
being there.
Ugh. God.
That's creepy,
They
right?
were just going around picking up campers at Devil's Den all night. It is creepy.
Oh, you
I mean,
ready
if
for, you
think
want more
about that,
creepy?
but let me just harp on this one. It is if that's the feeling you got that you were laying in somebody else's bed, you know what I mean? That for that
That's
moment,
right. Right.
that's just weird. Like
Yeah.
you get in and your bed's warm. That's weird. All right, so go ahead.
Then 2 9-foot tall praying mantis looking aliens entered.
I love these guys. I
The
love
bug
praying
heads, right?
mantis. I love these guys.
Then he's surrounded by grays and they roll him over on his side.
Wait, before you get into the mantis and the grays, do they work together? Yeah, right. The grays are the grunts, right? The mantises are the
I think
smart guys.
Yeah, I think so. And the pink
Yeah.
guy must be the super smart guy.
He must be really smart.
Yeah, he's super smart. So the mantis starts operating on his lower back. He
What?
said the pain was unbearable. And he
What the
tried to
shit?
scream out, but nothing came out, like no sound, which we've heard before. There's no sound.
Yeah.
You know why? Because in space, no one can hear you scream. You know what that's from? The original Alien. That was on the original movie poster for Alien.
Oh,
In space,
that's
no one can hear
right.
you scream.
That's right. That was the greatest movie ever.
Oh, so good. Okay, so one of the mantis seemed annoyed by him screaming, and he spoke to him telepathically, and he said, "You know we don't hurt you. We're going to take you back down." Then the mantis tapped him on his forehead, boop, and everything went black. And when he woke up, he was in the grass by the tent.
Where's Toby during all this?
Toby's there. Toby's there now. And in Terry's mind, are you ready for this? What he thought? Well, at least they could have put us back in the tent.
He's not wrong. Was he naked on the
He
grass?
didn't say whether he was naked or not, but guess what happened? 5 grays appeared beside him, grabbed him, and threw him into the tent.
Those grays probably got in trouble by the pink guy. He's like, come on, guys, not outside the tent. Put him back in there. Next to Toby, where he was.
So he looks at his watch, and his watch had stopped at 12 a.m. Remember, this all started at 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
His watch had stopped at 12 a.m., but inside the tent, there was a clock, and that clock read 3:45.
Wow, they were gone for a while.
5 hours, 6 hours.
6 hours, yeah.
Okay.
That's a long time to be missing time.
So he was like, fuck, where's the flashlight? Where's the flashlight? And Toby grabbed his hand and said, be quiet. And then Toby started crying.
Wait, Toby said, be quiet?
Be quiet. And don't turn that flashlight on and shut
And he got
up,
scared.
Terry.
He was really
right?
scared.
Then Toby was crying. They heard footsteps.
How
Then
old
they
was Toby?
saw-
How old were they at this
They
time?
were like 22 years old.
Okay.
Their first time being in the camping together.
Yeah.
They were scared.
I ain't quitting you.
So anyway, so they heard footsteps outside, right? They saw what they looked like a bunch of kids running around in the forest,
What the
but
shit?
they weren't kids. They were grays. Then Toby started crying again, and
This
he
was
said,
after they'd been returned.
after they'd
And
been returned,
they went out to look outside.
Yep, they went to look
and
outside.
they see the grays
In a
running,
clearing, they saw
scampering in
these
the
grays
woods.
like dancing all around the mulberry bush.
Yeah,
the
they
mulberry
were-
bush.
They were messing with them big time.
Toby started crying again, and he said,
Oh,
they took
God.
us. They hurt us. They took us. They hurt us. He just kept saying that over and over and over again.
Toby was saying this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
they looked at each other, dude, and their faces were all swollen. They were red. They were covered with what looked like bug bites all over their body. So
God.
they grabbed what they could and they got in the car and they drove. Terry, when he got home, could barely walk.
So they left right. They left then. It was like 3 in the morning. They loaded
Yep.
up and let's get
Yep.
out of here.
Right. So Terry gets home. His wife is like, what are you doing here? So she took him to the clinic and he told people at the clinic what had happened, except he didn't tell them anything about being abducted. So they
He
tested
just
him.
told him about. He told him about the
The
they saw
ship, that he
lights,
saw the ship, and
and
he
then
felt
that's
he
it.
got the radiation,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And they were in the
that was
tent,
it.
and then
Right.
they
And
freaked
they
out and
blacked
they
out.
left.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
That's what he told him. He didn't tell
All
him that the aliens had come and grabbed him and took him
What
to a
did they
ship.
say? What did they say at the hospital? What did they say about that?
They were like, "Well, it looks like you got radiation poisoning." They put
For
a Geiger
real?
counter. He said,
They
"Yeah, they
did?
put a Geiger counter on him, and he was
Yeah, but
radioactive."
their reaction to his story, was there any comments about
He
their
didn't
reaction
say.
to that?
No, I guess they were like, it's Devil's Den. This happens all the time.
Yeah, this is the third person in the night.
So his third night at the hospital, he said 2 guys came to his room in dark suits.
So wait, he stayed at the hospital for 3 nights?
Yeah, dude, he was so dehydrated and weak and
Was
just
Toby there too?
he doesn't mention if Toby was there.
Poor Toby. I
Yeah.
feel like nobody took care of Toby.
So 3 nights later, his third night in the hospital, 2 guys show up. Dark suits.
Mm.
They've got a jam box and you hear, "Here come the men in black." Right. So they told the nurse that they were with the OSI, the Office of Special Investigations for the Air Force,
Sure.
and they needed to talk to Terry alone.
Please
right?
leave the room. Please leave the
Right.
room.
So this made him have like a flash of the humans in the flight suits. Like he remembered that immediately. So the guys wanted to know what happened. And
That's
one
a
of
weird.
the guys,
That's a weird flash memory. Then, oh my
Right?
gosh. Okay.
okay, so
Yeah.
the guys started talking to him. And before they said, Terry, don't say a word yet. I need to read you Article 31 of the UCMJ, which is equivalent to Miranda rights in the military.
Huh.
Right?
What? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Why?
They talked to him, they asked him questions, but he still didn't tell them about being abducted. So then they made him sign all this paperwork. And
What
it
was the
just,
paperwork to say what?
just to say, you can't talk about this. You're not allowed to speak to anybody about this. And that was it. You are never to speak of what happened up there. And he's like, well, I saw a ship. And you're never supposed to tell anybody that.
But that would immediately make me go, something's up.
So Toby, they were both on the same base. Toby was
Yeah.
transferred.
No, he was.
And they told him, do not ever contact Toby again.
really?
Ever. And they parted ways. Boop.
This
They
is
never-
what Terry says. Terry
is what
says
Terry
that's what he was
said.
told.
Yep.
Poor
This
Toby.
This is what Terry said. Again, Toby getting the short end of the stick.
Mm-hmm. Did Toby really exist? Do we know if Toby really existed?
I'll get to that. I'm going to get to
No,
that.
okay,
All
all
right.
right.
In 2012 is when you said that they discovered the implants
Yes.
in his leg, right?
Yeah.
But he wanted to have them removed, but he didn't have them removed. So
Was it
Fast
one or
forward-
was it more than one?
just the one,
Just the one. Okay.
just the one.
Did
So
Toby have one?
Toby was transferred, dude. Once you're transferred,
That's it.
I think transferred is short for
Yeah, they took him to the train station.
dead man walking. Okay. So in 2017, this is according to Terry, he woke up in his living room and sitting across from him was a tan-skinned woman about 4 feet tall. He thought she was some small Asian woman.
This is at least the story he told his wife. He didn't know she was home. Honey, I don't know how that hooker got here.
How did this Asian hooker get in our room? Okay. So then after his eyes focused, he realized that she wasn't a small Asian woman, that she was an alien. Now, here's a weird part.
Wait, I'm going to back up one quick second. Just popped into my mind. It specifically says in the report that they were photographers. They like taking pictures. They had gear with them. They had cameras. They didn't take any pictures when they were out there. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. So the Asian woman.
So this is going back a few years earlier. Terry's wife woke up seeing a small woman in their bedroom, and a voice in her head told her to go back to sleep.
Yeah, Terry's I think Terry's just iron hookers left and right, and he's convincing her. He's probably got her drunk every night. Like he's probably loading her with all kinds of like Quaaludes and booze, and he's just like, "Yeah, you go to sleep, honey, go to sleep." And then he calls his hookers, and they come over, and then if she wakes up, he says it's aliens.
Right. Tell her that you're an alien and tell her that you're communicating to her telepathically, but your mouth is moving.
Oh. And we'll just lead her back to bed. Everything
I'm
will
an
be fine.
alien. Go back to bed. You're tired.
Terry's got this all figured out. He took it so far because he's got this whole thing for hookers that he actually made up the
Devil's Den,
abduction.
so
he
that
made
he
up
can
the
be
whole
with
thing.
hookers, right?
Made up the whole thing and wrote a book. Like
About-
really took it to an extreme because he'll never get caught now.
Right.
All right,
Right.
so go ahead.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
so back to Terry, right?
Yeah.
When he sees this alien, this woman,
But this is what you were saying was that Terry's wife had an experience,
had
had
right.
an encounter with this
The
alien woman
being, yeah, alien woman,
prior to him
Right.
waking up downstairs with another alien,
right?
a woman.
But the same when he told his wife about it, I guess he told her about it then.
And then she said the same
She
thing
was like,
happened
"Oh my
to her.
God, a few years ago, the same thing. I remember waking up and I thought, no, this is weird that this
That's
woman is
crazy.
in our room."
Okay. All right.
Right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
she was like,
That's
"Terry, why
nuts.
are your pants down?"
Yeah. Aliens. It's aliens, honey.
Are you ready
Mhm.
for this? The first thing he thought when he saw her sitting there was, "That's a bad wig."
He did?
Yes. He said the first thing he thought was, "I don't like the wig she's wearing." Her mouth didn't move, and he heard her voice in his head saying,
Mm.
"So you don't like my hair? It's been the same from the last time we met. I always wear it this way. You know that."
That's so weird.
Then he said, this is where it gets
That's
super
freaking me
weird.
out. This is freaking me out.
Okay? This is where it gets super weird.
Yeah.
Memories start flooding back into him, right? Apparently, he had been abducted several times since he was 8 years old. White rooms with other kids.
Mm.
She was there.
As he mentioned, he saw kids on the ship.
Right.
Yeah.
She was there to keep the kids calm. Now, he
Interesting.
says,
I like that.
it's kind of creepy, but he was attracted to her.
Okay. Yeah.
She's kind of a hot alien with a bad
Okay.
wig.
Yeah. And
Let's take the wig off. Embrace the baldness. Right?
But it was definitely a wig? Was she just
Definitely a
dressing
wig.
up to keep everybody sort of
Calm.
yeah,
Right.
or to assimilate into
Right.
their
Right.
right.
So she said, "No more exams."
But he
You won't be-
specifically said he thought she was attractive. He
Yeah.
was like her.
Yeah. In a strange way, he was attracted to her, he said.
Mm.
He
Mm.
felt a comfort with her.
Mm.
Like he knew her.
Yeah. Familiar.
Right.
Oh, you had her to
old-
the house a bunch of times.
The old abduction seduction, Brad.
Abduction, seduction.
All right.
Yes,
So,
sir.
She,
All right, but he's having this conversation with her at
in
this
2017.
encounter in
At this encounter.
2017.
Yeah.
Yeah, got you.
So she says, "No more exams, and you will not be taken tonight." Then she sat calmly with him and helped him sort out all the memories that he had. All right. He said he saw the dark side of the moon. And apparently there's lots of people working on the moon. And some of those people that are working on the moon have never, ever been to Earth.
What the shit?
And she said, they're there to help us process the rocks. It's very important work. But
What?
she came to warn him because Terry had written a book and he's been writing about it and talking about this whole thing. And she wanted to give him full disclosure of everything. The government is aware of all of this, she said.
Wow.
And the people that the hosts, she called them hosts, the hosts that she works for don't want any of this to get out. They are important, she said. And they would
So
be in trouble if he would be in trouble if he didn't stop.
So she's trying to tell him, do not write a book,
Right.
essentially.
Right. Right.
But he wrote a book. And he told us this.
Well, he wrote more than one book. He actually wrote 2 books.
What happened?
I'm going to get to that.
Is he gonna
Nothing
get
happened
punished?
to him, I guess. No. So she said she won't remove his memories because they will cause him great pain.
Wow.
But the device that's in your leg will be removed.
So it hadn't been removed yet. It was still
No.
in there. So this is 2018.
2017.
2017.
2017.
Okay.
She said, "I'm going to leave you with 3 messages about the people that don't want you
That's-
to talk.
That's
First,
7 years ago.
right. First,
Okay.
they will discredit you. Then they will threaten you.
Mm-hmm.
And thirdly, they will kill you."
Oh, damn.
So when he kind of dozed in and out of sleep, and when he woke up, she was gone. And
Mhm.
so was the implant.
Well, how did he know it was gone?
He could feel it, I guess.
He never got looked at?
He might have gone back. He didn't explain this. He might have gone back and got another X-ray. So he wrote 2, Incident at Devil's Den and Devil's Den, The Reckoning, were the 2 books that he actually wrote. His story has stayed the same. Like when he speaks, his story stays the same.
Sure.
There's been a couple more additions to it, and they're thinking that those are just memories that got unlocked, right?
But she obviously didn't scare him enough to not write those books. He wasn't
But it was already
alarmed.
too late. He started writing in 2012.
Yeah, but they weren't published. She probably meant don't publish this shit. This just keep it to you.
So Toby, that wasn't his real name.
That wasn't Toby's real name. That's what I asked. Does anybody know Toby exists?
Yes. Not a real name. It was apparently a pseudonym. And the real Toby, this is all we know. The real Toby died in 2007. So this whole story is only Terry's. Toby hasn't had a chance to come out and say, that was me. This is Bill.
Yeah,
I was up with Terry.
Right.
We were making love and
like 2
that's all
aliens
lies.
would.
Like we were going at it like 2 aliens in the woods.
Oh man.
That was my book. 2 aliens in the woods. Okay.
Lovers from another world. So let me just clarify time frame here. This whole incident happens in 1977, but the story doesn't come out till 2012. Okay.
Right.
And Toby,
Well,
whoever he is, died in 2007.
So apparently the military knew about it though in 1977.
Okay.
Okay. And in 1980 they must have really like known about it, And
The military knew about it.
Right. So this guy, he went on to
How do you know? How do
like,
you know they knew about it?
because they sent the 2 men in black. Remember?
But
The
that
hospital.
was at the hospital. But that's what Terry
Right.
told
There's
us.
been no
Terry told us this.
military paperwork, or there's been nothing. All we have is
Right.
Terry's story.
There's no redacted documents out. There's
No.
nothing that came
No.
out through disclosures. There's nothing other than that. And it's only Terry telling us this.
Right.
What about his wife? Did she?
She hasn't said a word.
But she never corroborated anything that he had to go to the hospital. There were stuff in him. There was an implant. We don't hear from her side.
Nothing. There's nothing out there. She has not spoken. Only he has spoken about this. And I guess he was like, this is my story, not your story. You didn't get probed. I did.
You didn't spend a long, loving weekend with your friend Toby.
You don't even know who Toby is.
Are you ready to weigh in
yet. I've got other evidence. I've got other evidence here, right? That can explain things away. So the implant, right?
All right.
The
Well, wait a
implant-
minute. Let me clarify. Let me clarify something.
Okay. I'm going to have a drink.
I'm going to hand it to you now to weigh in on whether this is a mostly true alien story. You can tell me whether you do think it is or not and why.
So
Because
the
that's where
implant-
you're about to head, right? You're about to start.
I was about to head there,
You were
right.
about
Start-
to debunk with something.
Start debunking stuff.
I can tell
right?
you get this look on your face when you're about to debunk shit. Like it's your whole thing changes. Like you grab your face, you put your hand over your mouth and your beard, and you have to take a drink right before because you're diving in hard on debunking. So you don't want to be dehydrated. Okay.
I can't be dehydrated.
Go ahead.
No. And I'm drinking from my hydro.
You know what? You are my Toby.
You are my Toby. You're Toby to me. That's who you are. You're freaking Toby. Not even your real name. And
Yeah.
you're dead. You died in
right.
2007. You're dead to me. You're dead to me, Toby.
I did.
You're
All right,
dead.
Andrew, is this a mostly true alien story or not?
I'm not going to weigh in yet. Yeah. Wait. The implant, right? So we're
ahead.
going to explain the implant. The implant, the way that it was put into on the X-ray, it could have easily been X-rayed on the outside of his body.
Wait,
It
are you
wasn't-
speaking from research on
from research on
science-
X-rays and
on
science?
X-rays and
yeah,
stuff? Okay,
Yep.
okay.
right.
Not
So,
from your own experience.
not from my own experience, right?
Right.
All they saw was the chip, basically. And that could have just been put on his skin when they did the X-ray. It could have been outside of his body. They only showed one view of the X-ray. They never showed
Mm-hmm.
like a top view of the X-ray showing the implant, right?
Is that image out there?
Yeah, it is out there. It's out
Mhm.
there.
Okay.
So what that tells me is that it was taken on the outside of his body. That if you don't have more than one picture of it, like you're telling me this thing is implanted, that means if they would have done a side
Right. They didn't
view,
do another angle on the
Right.
leg or
Right.
whatever. Okay.
now,
But
what's
that's
weird,
that takes a lot of forethought.
yeah, well, it's 2012,
then-
dude. He's the only one that his law career is coming to an end. He wants to write a book.
He thought this out. I'm gonna fake the X-ray.
Well, sells books, right? He sold a lot of books.
But definitely is intriguing. But that's just
Right.
that's just
Right.
cruel intentions there. You know what I mean? All right, go ahead.
Right. A lot of his stuff is what they call it could happen under hypnagogic hallucinations, right? That
Mm,
happens
mm,
between waking and sleeping, right? The things
mm,
feel real.
mm-hmm.
And because they feel real, you actually believe that this is real. Terry believes that the US government actually has struck up a deal with aliens. And that happened in the 1940s for alien tech. And because the government made this agreement, they let the aliens abduct whoever they want.
That was their clause in their contract. It was
Yeah.
like, listen, we'll agree to do this, but
W-
you got to let us take whoever we want. We want to
Right.
abduct people. We want to keep abducting. This is what we like doing. We like doing this. We like doing this.
So
All right.
let's do this. Wait, you're the
Yeah.
government and I'm the alien. We would like to give you all of our fancy alien tech.
Great. Yeah. Love that.
One condition.
What do you want from us?
We would like to be able to come and abduct people and do whatever we want to with them, probe them.
What do you mean abduct?
Just take them for a little bit. Maybe take them to the moon.
For what reason? What are you going to do?
Dig rocks, and then we're going to probe them. We're
Why?
gonna bang them.
You got to bang
You're
them.
asking too many questions. Do you want the alien tech or not?
Yes, definitely. We're in. We're in. Yeah, just sign here. Yeah.
Okay, so here's something that's weird. In 1961, there was a thing called the Brookings Report, and it said in the Brookings Report that if they ever discover extraterrestrial life, it should be kept secret because it would cause panic in the world.
What year was that?
1961. It's called the Brookings Report.
Okay. Who wrote that?
NASA.
But some guy named Brookings.
Charlie
So
Brookings.
No, but right. I
don't know.
assume
Yeah.
it's a
I would
Brookings
imagine
report.
it's. I would
But
imagine.
I'm
that it's
saying that. But you're saying NASA did this, or was it the government?
Collaboration with NASA and the government. Of course, involved in all of this, as we know, are the usual suspects, right? Which is the Pentagon, the CIA,
Yep.
the NSA, Lockheed
Sure.
Martin, Raytheon, General Dynamics.
They're all
Northrop
involved
Grumman,
in what? Specifically?
in all anything that's alien tech, anything that's
Yes.
mentioned, these
They're
guys are
related.
always there, right? And then we also have these great whistleblowers that you and I talk about, right? Richard Doty,
Mhm.
David Grussup, Christopher Mellon,
Mhm.
Luis Elizondo, right?
Mhm.
But are they whistleblowers, really?
Well, we've spoken about this. We said that they're actors in this play that are told what to say and how to
Yeah,
say it to
But we're
spread
being
disinformation.
told it's disclosure.
Yes. Right.
These guys are going to disclose everything.
Yeah. But
right?
why are you bringing this up?
The reason why I'm bringing this up is because we have been talking about disclosure and all this. This guy
Mhm.
apparently had some sort of traumatic thing happen to him in the woods. I mean, he's
Mhm.
writing about it. I believe him. I believe him.
Wait,
That's
are you
something-
weighing in? You're weighing in?
I'm starting to weigh in. Yeah.
Yeah, let's weigh
Yeah.
in. Let's weigh in. Is this a mostly true alien story or not, Andrew?
No.
Wow. But you were almost there.
Dude, I'm so close on this one. I'm actually on the cusp. So I'm kind of like not really a no, but not really a yes. I'm kind of in
Mhm.
between on this one because it's fascinating that these things happen to these people, right? And this guy,
Mhm.
if he was just like some guy that didn't, that he was just trying to make money off his books, but this guy was like assistant attorney general. This guy was
Yeah.
an attorney. I mean, he's a
Yeah.
smart guy.
That
Why
makes
would
me
he
trust him less, though.
Right, but but why would he risk all of that to come clean about some alien stuff that happened to him? Right?
For money.
So he didn't make
Maybe
enough
he-
money as
maybe
an
he has-
attorney.
Maybe he
wasn't
likes
happy?
that kind of limelight. Maybe he loves that kind of stuff. Maybe he's creative. Obviously, he's
It could
creative. He's
be.
writing a book.
It could be. I guess I'm going back to I just want disclosure. I want these guys that are talking to actually start telling the truth. That's all
Mhm.
we want is just the truth.
Right,
So
but you
no,
just
it's-
said no. That's not true.
It's not a mostly true alien story. No.
Okay.
I think it's a very fantastical story. I think
Mhm.
that I think something happened to them on the mountain.
Mm.
I mean, for him to come back, but I could find no doctor's records. She said she took him to a clinic. I couldn't find any proof that any of that happened. And since we
Mhm.
don't know who Toby was or who Toby
Mhm.
is, and now the
Mhm.
real Toby, we're being told by Terry that he's dead. So how does Terry know this if they were not in contact with each other? This is where
Right.
it just kind of gets
Kind of
kinda
falls
gets-
apart.
falls apart completely.
Mhm.
You lost one of your key witnesses is gone.
Now,
And-
there were no interviews out there with the wife that said, yeah, this alien was in our
No.
house, or there was
No.
I took him to the
No.
hospital,
This was
or
all
there was
Terry's.
nothing that
This
he
is
had a
all-
friend.
Like I said, Toby died in 2007, and everything since then has been Terry. Terry.
But there was no story told before that.
No. Well, not that we know of. It could have been covered up. The Men in Black could have, took
true.
it. We
And
don't
Terry's
know.
still
But
alive.
Terry, I believe, is still alive.
All right. So you say this is not a mostly true alien story, and it's my turn to weigh in on whether this is a mostly true alien story or not. I had never heard of this one. So this was very, very new to me. I was really learning as we went along here on this one, because I don't want to dive into the details. I want to hear the details from you and kind of just, make my own opinion when we're sitting here. So with all of that information, this to me is a mostly true alien story. I think because what really got me was the ship explanation. That whole detail, we've heard this time and time again in other stories. Now, you could say, well, that's where Terry's getting it. That's where he's coming up.
I mean,
and
think about
trying
it.
to
He didn't
create
come
this
up with
book.
any of this shit. He didn't come up with any of this shit until 2012, dude. You know how much stuff's
Right.
happened since then?
Yes, a lot. There's a lot. And there's a lot of stories he could have pulled from. But I think it's a long way to go for a guy to make something up like this. And I love the whole implant story. I love that. And then it just disappears. But he kind of explained it. I think the
Asian hooker
alien
explained it.
the Asian alien hooker took the implant out, and that was that. But you know what? I want to give humanity benefit of the doubt. Could you sit here, you and I? Could you, on your day off, come up with a whole alien abduction idea and follow through with it? Think about it. Could you come up with that and continue it on for years and make it up to the point? Is that the kind of people that, I don't know that could be carried off for that long. And I don't think, I think it's very difficult unless the guys are really crazy, and that would come out. But I just don't think that that's possible. So I think this is a mostly true alien story. I loved everything about it, to be honest with you. I was really right there with you when you were giving me those descriptions of the
Did you like
lights,
the wig?
the wig, the whole wig thing. I'm going to see if there's an agency out there that will send you Asian hookers that look like aliens.
We're
And then
looking
that would
for-
debunk the whole story, because if that does exist, then I'll be like, yeah, this wasn't true.
But this isn't the first time that we've heard that they looked Asian.
No, there was sort of feelings,
Yeah.
for
He said
different.
he felt love for her.
Yeah, he fell
in
in
a
love
weird
with
way.
her and had her over twice, at least
That we
we
know
know of.
Once with his
What-
wife was sleeping, which is kind of creepy. But I mean,
That's
every
right.
time his wife was sleeping.
Every time after she had a couple of cocktails out of a
No, he
coffee
would just
mug.
shine. They gave him one of those flashlights that
Mhm.
put him to sleep, like they used on him. And she just shine it over her. she'd be
and
like-
then he's like, she's asleep. Yeah, come on in. Yeah, all right, we're good to
No.
go. Yeah.
Come on in.
All right, you say it's not a mostly true alien story,
No.
and I say it is a mostly true alien story. It is another strange case. It is one, I really like this story. It definitely blurred the line between alien visitation and deep government secrecy, which is kind of making you angry. But whether you think Terry's implant proves something extraterrestrial or just a psychological coping mechanism, one thing is for sure, that the Devil's Den story will stay with you. It's staying with me right now. If you enjoyed today's episode, please do us a favor. Subscribe to our podcast, follow us on TikTok and YouTube, and drop a comment to tell us what you think happened to Terry and Toby and the whole alien gang. We would really like to hear from you guys. But until then, be kind to the aliens when they get here. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks, Neal.
UFO sighting. Many Americans have wondered about our dangers of unknown objects.